So I want to talk about 5 ways that causes emotional neglect. All right. And so, first of all, one of the things that causes love to die is when we neglect the emotional needs of our partners. Problem with neglecting the emotional needs of our partners, most couples don't even know what is important to their partners. They have no idea. They have no idea what's important to their partners. And because they don't have any idea what's important to their partners, guess what they're going to do? They are not going to meet the emotional need. So I want to tell you what those emotional needs are. Here are the 10 most requested needs of men and women, both men and women. Number one, admiration. We know what admiration is. Admiration really is you admiring your spouse. You really just saying to your spouse, man, you look beautiful. Man, you look fine. Man, you look sexy. Oh my God, you're so strong. Oh my God, thank you for doing that for me. You know, sometimes, let me tell you something. First of all, I can't open a jar to save my life, right? If the jar is tight, I look forward to calling my husband and I'll say, baby, can you come and open this jar for me? And when he comes to open the jar, even though I couldn't open the jar for real, one of the things that I do is I go over and above with praising him. Oh my God, you're so strong. Oh my God, you're so sexy. Oh my God, you're this. And that feeds his emotional need. Now, could I open the jar? Absolutely not. I couldn't have opened the jar anyway. But I make it a point to say to my husband, I appreciate you opening the jar. I appreciate you being a man. There were times that I was stuck on the side of the road. The fact that he comes and changes my tire, man, I appreciate you being a man. I appreciate you bringing something to my life that I normally could not do. The next thing is affection. Women love affection. I like to say that affection is the fragrance of relationship. But affection is not just unique to women. Men love affection too. Rubbing their head, laughing, bonding, holding hands, rubbing your leg, affection. The next thing is conversation. Women love to talk, but so do men. Talk about your day. Talk about the things that make you happy. Talk about the things that make you sad. It's all about connecting. Domestic support. Take out the trash. Unload the dishwasher, right? Gary Chapman wrote a book called Things I Wish I Knew Before I Got Married. And one of the things that he says is the dishwasher is not going to unload itself. Domestic support is huge in relationships. Financial support. Financial support is huge in relationships. People that say they don't need help financially, it's a lie. It's physical attraction. It's making sure that you stay attractive to your spouse. I love when my husband says, I love the way you're shaped. I love your beauty. And I love the way he looks anyway. But then I, in return, say, you're so sexy. Sometimes I just grab his arms and just squeeze his arms because, just having a man in your bed is everything. Well, tell him it's everything. Right? Don't let somebody else tell him. You tell him you're having you in the bed is everything. You're everything. Tell your partner how attractive they are. Recreational companionship and sexual fulfillment. I've always said, like, in this space, the reason why I'm able to show up in this space and to teach you about marriage is because my life, not only is my life private, but my life is happy. In my life, my private life is happy. My private life is healthy. And so many people show up in this space and they see all of these things where they are enamored by it, they're encouraged by it, but then they go home to partners that they absolutely cannot stand. And we want to fix that. And so the first thing that I want to talk about is I want to talk about ways that your partner abandons you without cheating. And people think that cheating is the ultimate betrayal, and it is. I agree. I think that cheating is just the ultimate betrayal. It is absolutely gut-wrenching for those of you who have experienced it, and you know what, it's a hard place to be. But before cheating happens, there is emotional abandonment. There is emotional cheating that happens that causes you to just show up in your marriage and you are despising your husband, you are despising your wife, you are looking at them like, I cannot wait until these kids get out of this house. I cannot wait until this mortgage gets paid. I am out of here because my happiness is paramount. That I want to talk about the things that you are doing in your marriage that may be causing an emotional abandonment of your marriage. It's not physical cheating, it's everything but. So number one, let's talk about emotional withdrawal. So many people are emotionally withdrawn in their marriage, which means they don't share their feelings, they don't talk about their day, they have absolutely nothing in common except for, a 5 minute quickie. That's the truth. Like, they don't have anything in common. They don't look forward to coming home. A lot of times when people are emotionally withdrawn, it could be because of a number of reasons. It could be because you really are married to someone who has narcissistic characteristics, who are bipolar, they may be psychopaths, or they could just be selfish. They could be selfish, and they could be so hurt in their relationships that they've learned not to show up emotionally. They've learned to hide their feelings. And so one of the ways that they show up in your space is by being emotionally withdrawn. They don't talk to you, they don't open up. You have absolutely nothing in common. How's your day? Fine. What did you do today? Nothing. What do you want to eat? I don't care. Things like that. It looks like that. And so when it continually happens in your marriage, it causes you to check out. And that is one way that your spouse can be cheating on you without physically doing it. They are literally withdrawing from you the emotional sanctity and the emotional intimacy that you need in order for love to be sustained. Stonewalling. Stonewalling is huge. And I like to explain stonewalling like this. Imagine you were up against a brick wall. Nothing can get through and nothing can come in. That is what stonewalling looks like in marriage. They refuse to talk after a conflict. You have an argument, they just gonna let the dust settle like it settles. They don't care. But somebody that loves you will actually come in and take a sledgehammer and tear down that wall no matter how hard it is. You know how they say when a person stops fighting, they stop caring, and when a person stops caring, they stop fighting? That is stonewalling. That is, I no longer care to show up in this space to fight for what I love. That is an emotional withdrawal, consistent emotional unavailability. It's consistent. It's every day. I once heard this young lady once told me a story. She said that she was explaining to her husband or her fiance or whichever he was. She said that she was explaining to her fiance that she really, really wanted to be married, that she really wanted to take it to the next step. And she was crying. She had spent a considerable amount of years in this relationship, and the guy just ignored her plea. She sat there and cried her eyes out, and he was just like, and? Just an emotional unavailability, an emotional withdrawal. Y'all, that kind of stuff, that breaks down your relationship. And essentially, it really means that you are in a relationship by yourself. Prioritizing everyone and everything except the person that you love. Okay, so that means job, that means people, that means you coming home and you cooking for your kids and you running them all over town and you staying late at work. But when it comes to your wife and when it comes to your husband, you have no emotional time for them. You have no physical time for them. That is abandonment, right? That is emotional neglect. That is abandonment. And that is the reason why marriages are breaking down, because of that reason. Broken promises. Like, so many people will say, okay, I'm going to take you out on a date. I want to take you out on a date. I want to do this. I'm going to bring you flowers. And they never show up. I don't know if you've ever been left, right? If someone has ever broken a promise to you, if you grew up with a father that promised to show up to your game and he never ever showed up, or you grew up with a mother who promised to come and play dress up with you, but she never showed up. Emotional hole that it leaves in your soul, a very real thing. And some people never ever overcome that. They never get over it. That's what it feels like to be dropped in a relationship, to have promises after broken promises. Oh, I'm going to show up for you. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to open up more. I'm going to take you out on dates more. I'm going to cook more. I'm going to have sex more. But those promises never ever come to fruition because the person has completely checked out of the relationship, and your needs and your desires and the thing that you need in order to be satisfied in your marriage is no longer a priority for them. That causes emotional neglect. It causes emotional abandonment. Neglecting a shared responsibility. This is huge. Every couple has shared expectations in their marriage. They expect you to help with childcare. They expect you to help with homework. They expect you to help with bills. But when you constantly show up and you're not helping with anything, you are physically present, but everything else is checked out, that is emotional abandonment. And that is the reason why marriages are failing, because y'all are doing everything but physically cheating.